Too many buttons to push, Matt.
I get it.
It's a triple click. I'm not a triple click kind of guy. Welcome to the Hang with Mike and Matt.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Matt. One day late, but hey, better late than never. I wanted to get it in.
Yeah, I hear you. It's like missing therapy for a week. It's like, I need therapy.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how everybody in the chat feels as well, man.
Yes.
You got to get your hang therapy.
Well, downloads are doing great, so everybody's partaking in the Spotify, iHeart, Google Podcast. I don't know what all that world. It's all there. So, good amount of downloads last week.
Very, very, very vague and mysterious with these downloads. I don't know what kind of numbers we're talking about. I don't even think we're on Spotify.
It's up there. It's up there.
We were talking briefly about Stern for some reason, and it's like, what a disappointment.
Oh no! Why did you say
the
that?
way he is now?
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm the hugest Stern fan. He's a legend. We excuse me, owe it all to him. Basically, he was the first guy doing this that made it big and made it acceptable to be, edgy on the air. And I was a big fan of his. And now he's just this. He's like this afraid, left-wing, old liberal lady. And it's like, man.
Yeah, he does feel like he's clutching his pearls a bit, doesn't it?
All his opinions are it's like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
It's like they're against the man, and then they get older, and they're like, yeah, we're the man, and we're against you now. And it's like,
okay, so with Stern, do you think? I'm trying to jog my memory back to pre-COVID, but I think even pre-COVID wasn't his opinions. He would call it evolving. Other people might call it, watered down or whatever, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what it'd be getting pussified.
Pussified,
in your old age, you just,
But was he getting pussified pre-COVID, or was it just since COVID that it really just took a downhill slide as far as his stances and kind of losing that hardcore?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I mean, after COVID, obviously everybody kind of looked at it and go, hey, this guy's completely shifted here. Like, there was no question on it. But pre-COVID, I can't remember if he was already
I'm sure
leaning that way or
he
what.
He might have been.
Yeah.
Because society's kind of leaning a little more, less shock jockish. So, all he cares about is the money,
Yeah.
And so he changes it up a little to appease. I don't think it appeases Stern fans, though.
No, I don't think so.
And he's not going to get many new fans. Just to be honest, young people will see him and go, I don't listen to that old guy. I don't even know who he is. Who's that old guy with the long hair?
They knew he was from, a lot of the newer generation knew he was from American Idol or whatever.
That's true, yeah.
Or whatever the hell that show was. And that was it. And then they were like, oh, he also has a radio show. So everything shifted. But I know personally, like, I don't have a Sirius XM subscription. I canceled it when COVID happened. Because I was like, I'm not on the road, much anymore and that kind of thing. So I was like, I'm not going to need this. And so I canceled it. I'm going, God, I don't miss it at all. Like, there wasn't really much that I was missing. It's like, okay, well, let's move on.
I mean, you can get, I don't even understand how satellite radio is a thing. You can get whatever you want, basically, unless there's a particular serious program. Like you want Howard Stern, something like that. There's podcasts, 18 podcasts about everything. Every star has a podcast.
All the comedians have stuff.
Streams, gamers, YouTubers. Why would you need to pay for a cool music mix?
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much. Yeah, there's so
Pandora,
much stuff out there.
Spotify, all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I don't miss that at all. And I'm trying to, like, even today I was looking at my bills, and I'm going, oh man, why do I have Disney? Why did I get $16 taken out for Disney Plus? And then I'm going, I didn't even know I was paying for Disney Plus. I'm like, shit, they got me again. Another month of Disney Plus.
You never remember to pull the plug. It's too much work.
Well, yeah, they make it very, but
they don't make it easy. Cancel.
And Spotify, I think, raising their price again.
For what I say, I don't subscribe to Spotify. What, for like a month? Is it a monthly deal? Or
Yeah.
what? And how much is it for Spotify?
Right now, I think I'm paying $16 a month, and that's for like me and my wife to have our account or whatever.
And what can you do with that? You can listen to anything.
Yeah.
You get ads.
Not on your music. No, no, I don't get ads with that stuff. Like when I listen to Rogan or something, I'll still get hit with ads, which I just skip past them.
Yeah.
And move on. But I like it. I like it more than SiriusXM, to be honest with you. I don't know. To me, it seemed like the next natural stop in the road for broadcasting and whatever was Spotify. From there, I don't know where it goes because, it was like broadcast radio. It was all this stuff, all these different iterations. And then when Sirius XM came along, it was like, whoa, this is like the final frontier.
Yeah.
And then Spotify came along and goes, no. We're going to go ahead and take the ball from here. Now I don't know where it goes. Right?
Say, well, but what could be next?
Yeah, I don't know.
Music in your brain.
Yeah. I mean, considering this morning, I put on Cluster F show when I was working this morning, right? But you guys had already gone off the air.
Yeah, we were so busy we cut out early today.
Whatever it was. So then I was like, oh, well, it says the Kai Cenat guy or whatever. So I go, okay, let me click on this. Because the last time I clicked on that guy, I didn't know who he was, and we were actually doing our thing live here, and he was broadcasting from a prison or something like that. I don't know who he is, but he's always on Twitter and YouTube. I don't know who he is, but he's always in the news. Yeah, so this guy had like 59,000 people watching. So I'm like going, oh, well, let's see what 59,000 people are watching, right? Like naturally, curiosity's got the best of me. So I click on it, and it's just a bunch of dudes sleeping on a floor, and some guy that said hibachi by Steve, who's some big African-American guy making hibachi while these guys are sleeping. And 59,000 people are watching it. And the guy wasn't even he just had a sign that said hibachi by Steve, but everybody was just sleeping. And I'm going, okay, now I'm very confused at what entertains people. 59,000 people.
Sometimes I think it's like, I mean, you almost have to dumb it down to moronic levels. It's like trying to have an adult conversation and be witty and clever and astute and what. It's like people are like, what? That's because I guess.
Well, then on top of it, 59,000 people. The chat on the side was moving so fast. And well, how was it? I'm like, whoa. Yeah, that old man thing, like, whoa, hang on a second, slow it down. Too many people chatting at one time.
It's like, what is the even purpose of a chat when you can't read? You can't read any. It just goes. You can't read it. It's like
seriously,
it's a blur.
It was a trip, but yeah, they were just on the floor sleeping while some guy was bringing in catered hibachi food or something. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, maybe we need to change our tastes and our sense of humor.
I'd love to sleep and have somebody make hibachi for us.
I would too. Like maybe like the Masked Singer. I don't watch it, but I see the promo sometimes during football.
Sure.
And I've seen it before. And I'm aghast. It's like that. When the Masked Singer came out, I went, "Oh, finally! It's the end of the world," because it's so
stupid
and dumbed down. And it's like the Roman, what do they call it? The games, the gladiator, whatever they call those. It's we're entertaining the masses, the really ignorant masses, as we just go.
Are you not entertained?
Exactly, as we go right down the drain.
Yeah, the Masked Singer was dumb, and same. I'm with you. I saw, I go, well, this isn't going to last. This is the most ridiculous premise ever. And then it's like the number one show, and I'm going, okay. But prior to that, it was Dancing with the Stars. I'm going, who wants to see people ballroom dance? This show's going to last a season at best. This is going to be such a flop. But nope, number one show. No. And I'm going, okay, clearly I'm not with the rest of them. Whoever they are out there, I don't know them, and I don't want to know them. If 90 people are watching it out of 100, I'd rather be one in the other 10 that's going, I'm not capitulating to watching Dancing with the Stars.
Famous people on there,
don't
Matt.
Give a shit.
I mean, famous people learning how to dance and competing and doing tangos and
Yeah, I do say that, but then at the same time, the other night I watched The Wall. So,
Oh my god!
I know.
Hey, it was nice. Everybody tuning in.
I know. I'm a hypocrite.
Tune in next
It's
week.
it's such a hypocrite thing to say.
For the Mike and Tom the Tree Man show.
Hey, what's up, Mike? Good to see you.
I mean, I like if I'm on the couch and it's like 10 minutes till the news, I'll watch The Wall just go. I just don't even understand what is it? What is the thing that would make you want to watch? You have to watch and get into these characters who are fucking people.
No,
off the street.
I'll tell you what was interesting about this last one. It was a veteran was on it, and they built him up. He had a story, right? So he had literally like no limbs. He got them blown off in like a IED attack in his second tour of Afghanistan or something.
Yeah.
So now I'm like going, oh, well, I want this guy to win money. Like, that's cool.
And
like,
they know.
Oh, yeah, so they got
You want
me.
that guy.
Like,
So,
I think
so he's going to win. That's what happened.
Well,
Or he's going to get paid off. He got paid to be there.
they ended up winning $250,000, which, again, nice. I'm happy. Like, that's fine. But my problem with it, all in all, was the fact that, all these people that play in The Wall, all they've done is toss a ball down a giant Plinko board, right? And this guy won $250,000. And I just keep going back to like the people on Jeopardy who are geniuses, and some of them walk out of there with like $5,000 for the night, or they maybe don't make anything, but like they're so smart and they've studied and they know so much.
It's just a crapshoot.
But then you got this guy just throwing a ball down a Plinko wall, making $250,000. I'm going, okay, that's where shit ain't fair. Like, just in general, you can study your ass off, be an absolute genius, get on Jeopardy, and maybe make
the ball.
Or you throw the ball down the Plinko.
Ball went the wrong deal. You got wow. That's
so
weird. That's what you got.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking, what's the one with Rob Lowe?
The floor. Yeah, they've taken it from the wall to the floor.
I mixed up the wall.
Totally
the floor.
different. Yeah, I don't know what the floor is about.
Okay, well, we need to come up with a game show like the ceiling. You rabbit the ceiling.
We put Gorilla Glue on people's hands. You stick them to the ceiling, and the first to fall loses. And slowly, they just keep falling off like dead cockroaches.
And they have to answer trivia questions. And if they don't, the question is right, somebody tickles their feet. Oh my God, we've got to smash.
The tickler.
The ceiling. You've heard the wall. You've heard.
I don't put it past
the floor.
If in 5 years that show appears, ahead of our time once again.
Once again.
So the diverticulitis, better, worse, same?
I see right now. I feel great.
But no drinking.
Probably not tomorrow. Saturday I'm drinking.
You've got it pre-planned.
I got I need a haircut. I got turbo colon cancer. I'm on my last legs. I'm gonna start drinking. I'm gonna drink.
Are you gonna be like that Clint Eastwood movie when he that Gran Torino where he goes out and he gets a nice suit, and it's like, what's he getting this suit for? And it's to be buried in. He just wanted a nice suit. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but do you have a nice suit for when it all comes to a close?
No, it's gonna be cremation.
Oh no suits.
You're gonna get buried. That's so antiquated.
What,
it's so
to have a nice suit?
No, to go get buried.
It like in general.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're putting a rotten body in the ground for me. You just turn it into ashes and take it home.
Yeah. Maybe like an hour. Express.
Yeah, but that's like a primitive thing, or people putting bodies in the ground and then going and visiting the bodies, the dead bodies that have been eaten by worms.
Well, what was yeah, it is a weird move. There's a lot of weird moves. I even look at like Easter, right? The whole thing was Jesus he comes from the East, right? That's the whole theory, I guess, is like when he rises, he comes from the East. So your feet have to be buried, like technically speaking.
Or else you don't go to heaven.
Yeah, you have to be buried a certain direction because he's coming from the East.
It's just like the wall. You could have been the best person in the world, but all your feet were pointed in the wrong direction.
That's my thing. Like, all right, let's say you did everything right. You're killing it, man. You're doing great.
Yeah,
But-
good guy. Good
But
guy.
God forbid they bury you the wrong way. Jesus comes from the east, and he doesn't take you with him, and to the promised land. Isn't that
Seems like a dick move to me.
It's very
a
odd
huge
to me.
dick move.
Well, speaking of dick moves,
Feet planted in the right way. Oh, too bad.
yes, so sad. The one that I'm fascinated with, and it was coincidental that I had just kind of talked about it with my wife or whatever, and I didn't know too much about it. But then I watched that movie, Ricky Steninki or whatever,
Yeah.
with the moil. And I'm thinking to myself, like, a moil, that's got to be the weirdest move of all time, right?
Yeah. To me, like career path or what?
No,
Or
like
just-
from a ritualistic
Yeah, it's up
perspective.
there. It's up there.
It's up there. What's more crazy than getting a guy to come in and chop something off and then suck the blood off of it clots?
I didn't know all of them were the suck the blood.
I think that's the move.
I thought that was a certain sect of Judaism.
Whatever that sect is weird,
but
bro.
it's definitely a thing. No, it's a thing, and you're right. It doesn't get crazier than that.
Like you could talk about satanic people and all this stuff and be like, oh, they worship this and okay, but you see that guy? Okay, that guy just took a baby's dong, snipped it, and then sucked the blood, like whatever
in
it
a
is.
ceremony, in a ceremony, that's just what they do.
Yeah, that's just what they do.
It's
Does
like
that not seem odd?
if you take away the religious connotation, it's a crime.
In every sense.
In every city in America.
Mayhem, mutilation.
I mean,
the charges would go on and on if you were to take away the religious aspect of it. You could mount some serious charges.
well, just the sucking of the clots is a federal crime with on what they're doing it to.
Yeah,
That's a non-consensual deal.
totally. Right? Because your parents go, do it.
So I mean I never heard of this until maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I was just like, this is a thing. People still do this.
Yeah.
It was like bizarre. It's like how, and you never hear about it because never mind. It's time to move on.
Is it? We are.
If you know, I don't know if you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying.
We're just talking about moils. Interesting subject.
Just over here. Also, we're
Sounds pretty cool.
We're pro-Israel and pro-Palestine. Just for anybody wondering.
Yeah, but mainly pro Israel.
Yep, man.
It's like we're pro. It's like the skin, but no, we're definitely pro Israel.
Yeah, for
Palestine's
sure.
up there.
But I mean, Israel's taking the cake, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's a disclaimer I play before every show.
Pretty much pro-Israel around here.
Pretty much. That's a good word, the phrse.
Yeah, because
pretty much. Yeah.
you're not going all in, but you're in.
You can definitely back out though. Pretty much. No.
Pretty much.
Coming over for the barbecue. Pretty much.
Pretty much gonna be there. Pretty much. Yeah, dude.
That's a no when somebody says no.
What do they go? Iran is now. They're saying 48 hours. Before Iran puts a hurting on Israel or attempts to. That's the new time frame given.
So excuse me. Is that the what's going to happen during the eclipse? The start of World War III?
When is the eclipse?
Monday.
It's Monday.
Yeah, it might be out of the 48-hour window.
Yeah. Oh man, what a crazy thing! If there's all you see are missiles and light from missiles and
you see, yeah, something's gonna see. It's like, to me, it's like, okay, if something happened in the next few weeks or months, and they were like, we have to go to war against Iran because we are Israel's allies, and they're calling troops, and it's like. That's just not. I don't really want that. I don't think we'd go to war for anybody except ourselves. I'm done with this NATO stuff. It's like, unless it involves the world's safety, like, well, Russia just took over 3 countries. It's like, oh, it's time. Let's go get them.
Yeah.
But not like all this ticky-tack bullshit. Forget it.
Yeah, y'all figure it out. It's a weird thing, especially when you talk about I mean, and keep in mind the U.S. today is basically going, hey, Israel, y'all got to figure some stuff out. You can't be doing this. That's basically layman's terms.
Or as we've been, this is exactly
proxy,
what,
yeah.
because we want to go to war with Iran. Because the only way this administration wins an election is if we're at war. Because this is, this economy doesn't win elections.
Well, it's like, and what other, like, look, we're a pretty big country, relatively speaking, in the world map, right? How big do you think Israel is?
It's tiny.
State-wise, if you were to compare it to a state in the U.S., what do you think?
I don't know, but it's really tiny. I'm trying to think whether it's Rhode Island size or a little bigger.
I'll tell you. It's about the size of the state of New Jersey.
Which is not a big state.
Not a big state.
Not a big state.
But we got a whole kerfuffle going on as a country, as a world. As a world, right? Based around Israel, which is the size of the state of New Jersey, and Palestine, which is way smaller than that. Like, it's all important. I get it, but it's a big kerfuffle over a land that relatively in the size of the world scope is fairly small. I don't mean that, I'm not talking down on the people or anything like that. I'm saying just from a size perspective. It's kind of weird.
And you look at like Yemen. Yemen has been at war with Saudi Arabia, and there's been massive civilian casualties inside Yemen, but nobody cares at all, and nobody would even think about intervening. It's like, well, what's the difference other than like geopolitical?
Yeah.
It's like, so don't give me any crap about it's like because of some moral thing. It's like we only get involved in countries we can take over and get their resources.
We're definitely picking and choosing.
It's like we don't give a crap about it. We don't. And I just don't see how Americans would support a war. I'm sure they would.
What was the weirdest thing?
Sure they would. We go, let's go to war again. And seriously, people, seriously.
Even Taiwan, that 7.4 magnitude earthquake the other day, right? I'm going, wow, that's crazy huge news. Like I'm clicking around on the news channel, like Fox News, not covering it, CNN not covering it, like nobody's covering it. I'm going, this is like a major event. Instead, Jesse Waters had some chick who was dressed like a dog or something like that. I'm going, okay. He's off the rails.
It's the circus for the masses.
Exactly. And I'm going, there's a major, earthquake going on that happened and nothing. And then finally, the first coverage I saw of it, it was on like CNBC, Finance Channel, and they're going, what's going to happen to the semiconductor production in Taiwan? Like they're all worried about this, not worried about the people. They're worried about the capacity for them to continue to build semiconductors and how quickly can they get those out.
Well, that's going to become a conspiracy theory. HARP set off a thing so the semiconductors wouldn't get made, and then we can go to war. Everything's see. I think there could be an actual attack on the United States from another country, and an actual attack, and half the population would think it was fake. And I would,
you wouldn't question
it. And I would
it.
be looking at both sides going, I don't know. I got to figure out what's going on. And it'd probably be very plausible that we did it ourselves and it was fake. I don't think I think realism is gone.
Well, what I've learned to do is, again, just kind of step back and not form an opinion at all initially anymore, and just take a step back and go, let's give it some time to sort itself out before I go digging in on one opinion one way. Like, let's see how this shakes out for a bit, right? Like, we've been wrong too many times before. We've been hasty about things too many times before. Why be so hasty? Let's chill out for a minute.
But that's kind of, it's rare. Now people are just like, you get so dug in.
Yeah.
You get so, and it's understandable because, both sides view each other as so extreme. So, like to me, if you're a rational person and you see like the stuff going on, with the gender deal and stuff, and you're like, well, that just, I could never support that stuff. Some of the things.
Sure.
Down to the, because it's a money-making deal. Gender clinics are opening up all the country. There was no transgender kids in my high school.
That you know of.
No. If there was, it would have been like 2 or 3. If
Yeah, but that's also because they would have gotten their asses
No,
kicked and
it's
bullied
not-
and berated into not being able to do it.
I'm not saying. I'm saying that the numbers. It's a social media phenomenon. It's a societal phenomenon. People are coming out
see what you're
for
saying.
attention. They're all coming out. It's like when it's in effect. They've studied like when Trace went to high school. All of a sudden, a bunch of girls were lesbians. I mean, it was a bunch. It was like 40% of the girls were all lesbians.
It was like trendy on some level.
And it's a psychological effect, and that's what happened in this thing I forgot I was talking about because I'm high.
Well, I know what you're saying. Like, I remember in school too, be like, oh, that girl's like, oh yeah, she said she's a lesbian or bisexual or whatever. You're like, really? And it was like, oh, that's so hot. Like, can't believe she's And then and then college.
But these
it was
girls-
always the girls that experiment, and then and then you look them up 20 years later.
None of them are lesbians.
No, they're married with 3 kids. They're and then they're probably if you ever brought up, hey, I thought you were. Oh, that was just a phase in my life. I want to get past it. Like, it was just a phase. Or they did it, like you said, a little bit of an attention getter, right? If you had a girl at a high school party who was making out with another girl, you were like, oh my God, guys, you got to come see this. You won't believe what she's doing.
You're the talk of the school.
Right.
But you see, now that doesn't get you anywhere.
No, you got to top that.
So it's the psychology of having to top it, and being if you're a nobody in today's environment, today's world, the worst thing you can be is a nobody. You got social media and you got 2 friends, but if you do certain things now and come out as certain ways, you can immediately get support and friends from all over and join these groups.
All over the world.
It's all. I mean, you're talking about the most easily manipulated minds in the world. The young teenage mind that's been fed with a silver spoon everything it wants to hear ever since it got a smartphone, and you can manipulate them like that.
Yeah.
It's preposterous.
I've been pleasantly surprised with how few of my friends have social media. I've been literally pleasantly surprised. Like, they just don't have any of it.
It's best not to.
And for me, it's baffling because it was almost, with what we did for a living or do for a living, you have to have that, right? It's part of the process. It's part of what you need to do certain things in the industry. But if I wasn't in that or doing that, I don't think I'd have it either. I don't think I'd have any social media presence at all. And the fact that I see people living their normal lives, friends of mine who are happily married and happily have kids, whatever, and they have no social media, I'm going, oh, so not everybody has. I think we oftentimes forget that you think that everybody has it until you realize that not everybody does.
I spend a lot of time on all kind of social media, but I wouldn't. I just get, I'm looking for stuff for the show and and talking to people I got to talk to and doing this and that.
Sure.
So, but otherwise, I'm not. I like when I make posts, it's because, I'm trying to get people to give me likes and stuff because I'm trying to get more people to listen to the show. And I wouldn't be making these political posts if I don't give a.
Or maybe all my friends have stuff and they're just under buried anonymous accounts and they're not outed on them yet.
And you're shadow banned.
Yeah.
You're blocked.
I don't know. It's I was thinking about the solar eclipse because I don't really know what's going to happen. You're getting all ends of it, and I'm thinking.
I don't think nothing's going to happen.
All I know is we've had how many eclipses happen like every
gazillion.
Year? Feels like a
every time. A year, there's supposedly 2 a year.
Okay.
And, somewhere in the world, there's a couple every year. Happens all the time.
So all these are the scientific hallmark holidays. It would be like the Valentine's Day, the Easter, St. Patrick's Day, all these little things that happen. This is like the scientific version of a Hallmark holiday. Of just like, oh, solar eclipse. How are you going to celebrate it? What are you going to do for it? It's like, do we got to really celebrate this? What do we do?
I don't even get it. It's like there was one here, 3, 4, 5, I can't.
Feels like not long ago.
Not that long ago. And it was like a 40% or something. It wasn't a big,
there was a blue moon.
It wasn't a big deal. It was just got a little dusky, and maybe the temperature dropped, for a couple. I mean, it was nothing. And so what's the big deal about the sun going out? The sun goes out every day. It's going to go out for 4 minutes, and you'll be in total darkness.
Oh, man.
But what do?
Flashlight.
You look up and you say, yep, it's covered. Now it's less covered. I mean, that's just not my thing.
Not covered anymore.
That's not my thing. I'm not doing that.
What time? Do you know what time it's supposed to be at over like where we are?
No. It's going to be what, 60%?
I don't know.
It's going to be 60%, which is not.
Oh, so we'll still be able to. So we won't even get the majority of it.
No. It's in the middle of the country, the southwest kind of. I mean, southeast to the northeast. Kind of a little rainbow across the U.S. I don't know how long. I don't know. I ain't paying attention to it. I
still love looking at the SpaceX launches, though. Every time I see one go off.
I forget them, man. I'm so mad. We always want to watch them, and then we're like, we forgot again, because we can see them pretty good from here.
See, you got a good view from where I am. I used to have a good view, but my new one, I cannot for the life of me track it or see it at all. Even if it's clear as, I got nothing. My old place, it was, again, perfect view. Now I'm like a lost puppy out there. I'm trying to see where it's at.
A lot of times we don't see them. So I guess you figure there's clouds between here and there.
I love.
Right? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how more people don't step outside and watch them.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but you never.
The night launches are awesome.
Yeah, the old place I was living in, I would go outside and I'd tell my kids like, hey, we're gonna be able to see it. Come on outside. And occasionally you'd have a neighbor go outside and they'd go, hey, what's going on? What are you looking at? I'm go, the rocket launch. And they're like, oh. And then they go back inside. I'm like, do you understand how awesome this is? This is like the coolest thing ever. How is not everybody in the neighborhood out here watching this?
Seeing it.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty cool. One time we were playing volleyball and we were taking a break, and then we're like, what's that over in the distance? So what is that? And it's like a rocket. We're like, what is that, a missile? And you got to pause for a second before you realize that's just the Cape, because they happen so much more frequently. But back in the day, you almost knew when every launch was.
Oh, for sure.
It was a big deal and everything. Now it's like they're doing 3 a day and stuff.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty, although there's a part of me that, not with people on board, mind you, but there is a part of me that does want to see one explode. Because it's become so commonplace that they're so good at it. It's flawless now, like every time. But I would like to see one explode. Again, not with anybody inside. I don't want that. But I'd be able to look up at the night sky and just see a little,
cool.
kind of like going, something different.
I feel you. I can remember going outside what was it, the
Challenger,
and looking at the sky for hours and hours.
It felt like it was,
stuff just hung.
You're
and covered.
right.
It was everywhere, and it's just like, wow.
It sure did. Yeah.
And I was like, wow. That's all I thought. Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean,
I was in elementary school. They took us outside.
Which it hadn't happened, but that looks really cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was different, squiggly lines in the sky, and
you knew where the squiggly lines came from. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I can't imagine watching that live. Probably.
Well, that was because I was in elementary school. They had us walk outside, but that was the whole teacher in space. I think her name was
Christine McCullough. Christine McCullough.
And so my teacher, I remember because we had teachers in our elementary school, they applied to be the teacher in space. I think every teacher applied. Like that was just one of, every science teacher in the country would want to be that, right? And then the teachers were kind of like,
yeah.
Thing.
It's like, what bad luck. Bad luck. It doesn't. They made dozens. I don't know. Was it in the hundreds of shuttle launches over how many years? They had 2, and they did it forever. Only 2 of them, bit the big one. It's probably good percentage rate.
Yeah, because when you think about all the pieces, parts that have to work perfectly, and then they come back with something where it's like, there was a O valve that was too cold and it couldn't withstand the pressure, and it's like, whoa. That was it. Just took this little thing to cause it all to go awry. I don't know.
And the things come in coming back, and it's going through the atmosphere, and the heat is 17,000 degrees. I don't know how much it's like. They got to have heat tiles and everything, and then you reuse it.
Let's go again.
Let's go again. Let's try it again. And a bunch of time. I mean, how many times was just the odd matter? The odds are one of them tiles.
Well, I was listening to Elon's interview. This was with Rogan like a few years ago or whatever. He was talking about the shape of his rockets, and he purposely made them more
phallic.
More phallic. He's like, it serves no purpose other than he just wanted to make them more phallic. Like he'd watched a movie. I can't remember what the movie. Oh, Spaceballs. That's what it was. In Spaceballs, they have the phallic.
Oh yeah.
So he basically just modeled it off of Spaceballs. There was no reason for it to look like that. He could have done the exact same thing and accomplished everything, but he was a big fan of Spaceballs.
I mean, if my billionaire's going to do crazy things, I prefer they be innocuous like that. That's just funny, yeah.
Good stuff.
Good for Huey. Good for you, Elon.
What's going on in the chat? Any action?
Oh, shit.
We should pay attention to the chat.
Otherwise,
we'll get in trouble.
I can barely pay attention to what's going on around me. It's gonna just play this ad. Let's see if I got it.
Oh, you got an ad.
Okay. Look, I don't know.
Who's this guy?
I don't know who this guy is. He just brings up an interesting point.
Okay.
This may be before your time, but
I'm very worldly.
The PSA's about what he's talking about.
Okay.
Hello. Give me the TikTok gimmick. That's not good.
Bubble of death.
I'm gonna have to refresh it, and maybe it'll work now.
Back in like the 50s or the 60s, they had a whole movement going on. I might have the decades mixed up. Y'all do the research, but they started saying,
y'all figure it out.
The children are eating paint chips, and because there's lead in the paint, we need to start removing all lead paint.
So, did you hear that? Like,
yes, and the lead paint would make him go like psychotic or something.
I thought the lead paint was probably before your time, because it was when I was younger. They used to run PSAs, and you'd see the kid, and he's in a little toddler, and he's in an old apartment, and the paint's peeling off the walls, and he's like,
because who doesn't like to peel paint off the wall and eat it?
So it was an epidemic of kids dying from. I don't think it was. That's what this guy's saying.
From now on, right? Because I know you've heard about lead paint, right? Yeah, no more lead paint. Why? Because the babies is eating paint chips in your lifetime. Have you ever seen any kid eat paint chips before?
No.
You any paint chips? No. Okay. Anytime you want somebody to do something without thinking, just say it's hurting the children. You know what I'm saying?
So I mean, he goes on to say it's because radiation, because lead blocks radiation. So if you're in your house and it's got lead paint, then whatever 5G or whatever radio waves are trying to get into your house. I mean, that's what he's saying. But it's interesting because that was a big deal back then.
I remember
the lead paint. That's a big deal. You got to get rid of the lead paint. And it's like, what are you talking about?
I do remember. Like you're definitely.
Kids are eating paint.
It was before my time as far as that goes, but I remember when people would look at houses, like if there was neighbors moving into a house or there was a house for sale, they would have to be like, oh, they'd have to disclose if does it have lead paint, or they'd have to tear down the walls and tear down the drywall and redo it so it could come up to code, because they couldn't sell it if it had lead paint, because everybody was like, oh, you can't do that.
Kid's going to eat
it. What if my child
kid's going to eat it?
Takes a paint scraper and goes to town.
I wonder how much paint. I mean, how many paint chips is a kid going to even eat? Just say, I don't know. That sounds like a hoax to me.
Yeah,
sounds like a typical government deal. The paint removal companies, the lead removal companies, big lead removal was in on that one.
They're all look. There are a bunch of lobbies out there. There's a lobby for everything. They're all disguised as nonprofits, and then they get government grants, and it's a whole thing.
I mean, I figured out the whole gun control thing last night.
You figured it out last night. You figured out gun control last night,
because obviously it's a work. It's been going on for decades and decades. It's the same argument for decades and decades, and it's like, well, handguns kill like like a gazillion people a year, suicide. There's this carnage in like 10, 20,000 people blow other people away or themselves away. Rifles, almost nobody. You add up all the mass shootings, it's like this. But what do we care about?
Rifles.
We care about the rifles, but any kind of logic says we should get rid of some of the handguns. Then a lot less death. No, let's just get this little bit wide. And so what do they want? They just want your rifles. Is what they want. They don't want.
Why do they want the rifles?
Because you can't mount a revolution with pistols.
Why not?
It's just
like legit. I mean, that's an honest question.
You can't take out enough people with pistols. An army of people with pistols would get mowed down by all these guys going.
What if I got a bunch of pistols and a bunch of bullets?
No.
Okay.
I mean, don't you think the armies of the world have thought about that?
That's why they're not all using handguns?
Nobody uses a handgun. You got a sidearm in case you run out of bullets and somebody's jumping in your foxhole.
Yeah.
Other than that, you got a rifle going.
About grenades.
Grenades.
Man.
Kick ass.
They don't. I
take balls to throw an explosive and pull that pin.
I was like going to the flea market. You'd find that one little military stand in the flea market that had weird memorabilia, and I remember they had like a grenade there. I'm going, that's like, what's going on here? Like, how are they just
disarmed?
This doesn't seem safe.
Because you will hear stories of people who got grenades. They found a grenade and they got to call the bomb squad because Gramps had a grenade in the attic. So I'm not messing with any alleged dummy grenades at the Army and Navy store. That's insane,
dude. I know they had all this one at the flea market. It had all kinds of stuff. I mean, like weapons where, and this was only a couple years ago. I remember going there and taking a more keen look at it, and I gosh, I wish I could go back on my phone and find the picture, because I might have even taken a picture of this gun that they had there, because it had no business being there. Whatever this weapon was, it had no business being sold at a flea market. Like, it just didn't, whether it was functional, non-functional, whatever it was. Oh, it was an RPG.
Oh, I can't believe they could. I mean,
it was a legit RPG
with like the G's.
I think he had him in the case. I don't know.
I can't imagine. I don't know.
I don't know either. But it was. But then he also had like the weird stuff. He didn't have. Like Nazi memorabilia is real popular amongst like a subculture of people. Like they'll go buy this like Nazi memorabilia on the down low and they'll keep it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, they did have some panache.
They had Hugo Boss suits.
I mean, that red, black, and white scheme. Striking.
Very fashion forward. But yeah, these flea market places, like this guy a couple years, he stopped just shy of me seeing any Nazi flags in the place.
Yeah.
But everything else,
he wanted to.
It was almost like if he had it, he would have, or if you asked him, be like, hey, where's the secret room? He'd have been like, back here, and taking you down, whatever.
Here's the good stuff.
Yeah, like weird stuff. But yeah, an RPG. I remember seeing that. And again, I don't know why.
The price on the RPG.
I had a tag. I don't remember what it was.
To me, it's like the war on terror. And it always seemed like such a scam, because how easy is it for one guy to get something like that?
Yeah.
And take down one plane.
Yeah.
And it's never happened.
How terrifying is it that you can go to the flea market and buy an RPG?
No background check.
I don't think he's doing background checks. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. But no, look.
Frightening.
I look at it, like what do we got in this country? 350 million people?
Something like that, yeah.
All right. How many tragedies do we get a year? Not car
major
accidents, not any of that. Like, but like psychos, going psycho, right?
Few, handful psychos.
Out of 350 million people, playing the odds, that's not so bad. I don't mean it in a condescending way. I mean legit. If you're looking at the numbers and the statistics of going, how many people are there?
It's great odds.
Yeah, like how can you not? And conversely, like how can you have 350 million people and have no psychos?
You can't.
You
can't.
There's just always going to be a few, no matter what you do, no matter how you try to counsel them through or take weapons off the street, whatever it is, you're going to have some psychos that find psychotic ways to do psychotic things.
It's true. 100%.
And that's just kind of the way I view it. It's always terrible to see a tragedy where, a bunch of lives are taken innocently and all this stuff. But again, the odds, it's not that common, I guess. Let's put it
to
that
me.
way.
To me, it's the most logical argument is, you could probably tighten up some access to guns here and there or whatever, but they're going to get them, and there's nothing you can do about it. And like you said, but if you say that, and you say, crazy people do crazy things, but if you say that, you're like a gun nut.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not a gun nut at all, but I don't know what you do about it. We got a lot of crazy people in it. We have a disproportionate amount of, we got rid of the mental institutions.
But wait,
so we got a lot of crazy people, and they do crazy things, like you said, and there's nothing you can do about it.
But do we have a disproportionate amount, or do we have about the amount that we should for a population our size with a society that does what we do?
I don't know. I think our society, our society got to a certain point, and the nuclear family broke down, and the education system getting worse and worse.
Okay, so we've probably we've helped our own demise.
And when you don't get, there's no access to mental health, they're just going to put you in jail, and then they'll put you back on the street. You got way more crazy people roaming the streets than you used to be. There's a lot of they used to take crazy people, the guys on the corner doing karate and acting psychotic. He's going in a home.
He's getting Baker acted
forever. No, but forever. and that's what you need in society. People who are almost criminally insane you got to lock them away.
Did you see now? Again, this lends to there's always going to be crazy. There was like that video of the 16-year-old kid the other day, and his mom found a bag.
I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the video at all?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, this kid's, again,
how old was he? 16?
I think 16,
yeah.
something like that, and had a severed human head and hands in a bag. The mom did the right thing and said, "Okay, call the cops." Called the cops. Cops come out, arrest him. But the kid is perfectly cooperative. He's giving up all the information he should.
Yeah.
He's saying how he stabbed him and he wore a mask and all this stuff. And the kid's, I mean, it's just a perfectly frank, he's just a nerdy looking 16-year-old kid. But that's the point where you can't stop crazy. Like, you got a society of 350 million people. One of those is always going to slide through.
At least.
You know what I'm saying? Like, one in every city.
Yeah, some people are born, that means, people are born without arms, without legs, without this. Some people are born with something in their brain that makes them, a narcissist or a sociopath.
Or a psycho, and one day you snap.
It's just nature sometimes. Sometimes it's the way you're brought up. You're brought up, and abused, and maybe it warps your perspective of things.
Yeah, it's like that. There was a stat. I don't even know if it's true or what the exact numbers were, but it was like that thing. If you were, they used to harp on it a lot. It's like if you were a victim of like molestation as a child, you had a greater chance of growing up to repeat that behavior, which I always found weird because I would think it would be the direct opposite.
Direct opposite.
But I guess it's not. Which is.
I think that's true. I think like a lot of pedophiles were molested as kids.
But isn't that weird? Like
weird.
Yeah, you'd think you would go, "Oh, that was a terrifying experience. I don't wish that upon anybody." Instead, your brain snaps and you go, "Okay, this is what I know. I'm going to,
it's bizarre. I don't get it. You think, well, I certainly wouldn't be that way, but I mean, that didn't happen to me.
Yeah,
So it turned out normal.
Look at you turning out all
turn out.
I wouldn't say you turn out normal.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I was always doing stuff like, I was making bits, when I was like 10 years old on a tape recorder at home.
It's awesome.
Dude, and making movies. I had to make the Super 8. You had to film and the camera movies with G.I. Joes and vampire movies and stuff. And, people are like, yeah, we don't know what Mike wants to do. No clue. A lawyer? You want to be a lawyer? I'm like, no, I had no idea either. It's like I never even thought of going into some aspect of, writing or radio or anything like that.
It's like,
Never thought of it.
yeah, you could be like even in these creative minds that are writers, right, or authors, the Stephen Kings of the world, right? I can't for the life of me figure out how you just get behind a typewriter and just do all of that, right? Just that novel after not just pumping out story
That's
after
a lot
story
of
of
work.
crazy twisted scenarios and trying to keep track of it all and trying to figure out where you're twisting. Yeah, and this guy's pumping out.
Oh, unbelievable amount of material.
Right?
I think there's something in his brain. You know, he's got some kind of gift to where he can just, his imagination is just.
Is it a gift
insane.
or is he
It's
a
a-
hidden
it's a
psychopath who was
curse.
able to find an outlet for his way of
His
thinking?
demented way
Think
of
about
thinking.
it. Maybe if he didn't have that typewriter or have that way of letting it out. Look, those stories are in there. They're coming from somewhere in his brain. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Or I mean, see, I would, you know, like, you know, Ned, you know, he's you know, allegedly.
you're gonna defend your character now.
No, allegedly he's killed prostitutes in Texarkana, and I have no desire to do that. I don't want to do blow with a midget. I don't want to do anything with, you know, I don't want to do any of that stuff. But
fair.
creatively, I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, the ultimate character. I could just say whatever I want.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. What do you think I'm gonna say? I'm a real freaking sicko.
Not at all.
Do all that stuff, man.
Not at all.
Do it all.
Oh my god.
Ned is me.
It would be
I'm
weird.
gonna bury you in a shallow grave out back. I am Ned.
Dude, it would be weird if found out one day like, oh, Mike, Mikey's, I mean, it was always a little off. But then,
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
yeah, like something like that.
And my penis in my hand.
Sure, we'll go with that one. Yeah,
Wow. Thought he was a good guy.
that'd be amazing.
Nah, nobody. Yeah, no secrets here.
Yeah,
No exciting secrets for me when I die. Sorry.
except
Nothing to
those,
dig up.
except those notebooks, that treasure trove of notebooks you have with all the psycho thoughts in them.
That's true. And I mean, in 10 years, those psycho thoughts will be like criminal offenses. You know, the language and the talking. Oh my God, he was a fascist.
Yeah,
That's the way it's going.
I mean, look, it always
I'm
sounds.
going to burn those books.
It always sounds different in a bit. It's like, you know, reading somebody's text. Like you can't judge
God,
the
it's
tone, right?
It's terrible.
So if we were to read your bits, your notebooks, with no context of going, okay, this is a character, you know, and just read it line by line, you wouldn't sound so great.
Yeah, it wouldn't sound so great at all. Yeah, it does. It does. It takes away the context. It takes away the humorous aspect of it. Perhaps, you know, there could be some sound effects or some voices, and you're just reading this terrible stuff.
Terrible
In
stuff.
a monotone voice.
Yep.
With no comedic delivery at all.
Yep. And then in the courtroom, an attorney does it, and the attorney sounds worse than you do reading it because they, you know, really want to make you sound bad. It's
They accentuate.
oh, they sure do.
Yeah, I'm doomed.
Damn attorneys.
Doomed. Some of the stuff I did on Sirius. I mean, they basically said you can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, they didn't have any. Well, and you did.
And we did. I mean, I don't almost nothing. We didn't not say.
Yeah, the only thing that really, I mean, you harping on the VP of programming, that was a tough one.
Hey man, I just did what I was told.
I know.
I would
I
never.
know.
I would, you know.
But like that was like the dumbest bridge to burn ever. Not for us, but for the cuck. Like what a dumb.
It boggles. See, we're gonna get me
Oh
started.
no,
on
I don't
this-
want to get you.
on the
I don't want to
Sirius
unzip you.
deal again. What did like? And it was a pattern. You know, of like almost like some kind of bizarre self-destructive fetish. Remember, I can't remember, it was Cox or wherever we were, and Kim Guthrie or whoever, somebody who's the head of it. Maybe that was, what's the other one, Beast? I don't know. And he's like, he got in some beef with her. And so then he would, instead of saying her name, he would say Schmim Schmuffrey instead of Kim Guthrie. And I would have to do bits about Schmim Schmuffrey being, you know, a big C word.
God.
And it's like, how many presidents of companies are you gonna piss off?
It's
It boggles the mind.
very strange. It all goes back to that thing like it's what's the saying? It's the same trees that you climb up, or the same trees you climb on the way up, or the same branches you hit on the way down, or something like that. Something like that. It actually makes a lot of sense. It's like you don't know, like you could make fun of somebody or say something to somebody, and in 20 years from now, that person could very well have surpassed you or be your boss or be an important influence on your life, whatever it is. And I've kind of like learned, by trial and fire, you know what I mean? Like of going, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, because I've seen it happen way too many times where that person now is leveled up and, and they're going to go, oh yeah, I remember you said that about me. Or it's like, I don't know. I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like,
Sorry. Who's the guy?
All of them. I'm not saying. I'm not even going to say the name.
I can't think. Okay, the serious guy.
Yeah.
I doing the what's the song? Gnarls Barkley doing the F you.
Yes, I'll show you the name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was a bad one.
I mean, it was like, I had to do like a weekly bit. I had to do Brent Hatley style bits with that guy's name.
Yeah.
I miss my boss. That's my boss.
The main guy that runs programming for SiriusXM.
How did no one sit him down and say, hey, I just want to let you know you're committing career suicide. You're burning the biggest bridge that's ever been built. You're Baltimore harboring the bridge deal. Stop
Baltimore harboring.
Stop it. Stop it. No, nobody ever. Hey.
What's going on in chat tonight? We have not. At least I haven't. I don't know if you've been checking it or reading it as you go.
I do. I'm not physically capable of carrying on a conversation.
So let's not. All right. So let's stop. We won't multitask. Let's now take 2 minutes.
Take a deep breath.
Yep. And then we'll focus on the chat.
Okay, we could actually take a break.
Okay,
and then
then focus on the chat.
Well, there's a delay, so it'll give plenty of time to come in and ask Matt and Mike their questions or whatever.
A Q&A?
Or give a comment or whatever they want to say to us.
A hot topic, open format Thursday.
Open format Thursday, and I gotta put these up on YouTube. YouTube is persnickety.
What do you mean?
You got to make sure you watch your P's and Q's about copyrighted material.
Yes.
I'm just gonna play. You know what I'm gonna do? It's gonna be hot mic.
Oh.
We're gonna leave the mics up.
Okay.
Put a fire emoji in the corner.
Okay.
Not really.
Fire emoji. Okay.
It's a microphone on fire.
Okay.
And we're not gonna say anything interesting for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll be back with more Mike and Matt.
Brilliant.
Actually, I'm going to shut the mics off. You never know what we're going to say. Hot damn, you're listening to The Hang with Mike and Matt. Don't forget Ned in Your Head tomorrow morning, 7:45. He's got a couple songs about the government and the election, and also a song, what's the other one? Oh, I can't remember. I write so many songs I don't even remember what I'm writing. It was very involved. Ned is redoing a Manson song. Actually, this is a Mike song from Quad Cities, Iowa.
Okay.
So I sometimes get on here and play those old bits and think about how young and naive I was, 30 years ago, 28 years ago. And some of them are good, and some of them are like, oh my God, that's so lame.
That's funny you say that. I do remember us doing a segment at some point years back where we took one of your old bits, and rarely do you get embarrassed about anything, but that was one of the few segments that we would do, and we pull out a bit from like way old school, and you would kind of just sit there and you're like, oh my God. It was like, just make the beating stop. Like you didn't want to hear it ever again. Yeah,
there were some bad ones. I remember that Dr. McCoy died from Star Trek back in the day.
Yes. Wait. Let me. Can I go back in my memory bank here?
Yes,
Let me see. Instead of Dr. Feelgood, it was Dr. McCoy. Is that right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I had to pull those carts off the wall every time.
It was like, and you guys, and for one thing, it's a song about Dr. McCoy. It's like, how cool is that? There's not that much material with Dr. McCoy, and then doing a what's the name of that?
Vince Neil
style. It just doesn't really suit for a parody. And it was more like an old, like an Ethel Merman back in the day. McCoy. It was like he just kept hitting it and hitting. He's the one they call Dr. McCoy. So, but it was so funny. I didn't care because it was so everybody was dying.
But again, you also thought those production rooms were completely soundproof.
I knew.
We'd walk by.
I hated that. Imagine how self-conscious you are when you're trying to. You don't even know. Like, I don't even know. If I'm doing some bit or something, I'm doing some voice, and I don't even know if I can pull this voice off. And it's like a high, and I got to sit in there knowing that people are listening to me going, "Ray!" Or it's like, it's sometimes it was tough. I couldn't hit the high notes because I was too tense. I don't want to hit the high note.
Dude, I would be in the studio I had, this is a few years back, and I was doing some voiceover work, but the studio door was glass. It wasn't like a properly built studio, right?
Totally big glass window.
And they would bring by people, and I'm just in there doing my thing, and they would go, and here you'll see, Matt. What he's doing now is, doing this, and they'd explain what he was doing, like what I'm doing, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I can hear every word you guys are saying, like whatever's being said. I don't know why you think this little tiny glass is keeping everything.
They're trash talking you.
Yeah, so I would always kind of leave one headphone on and one off to go, What are they saying? Like, what's going on?
They're saying
here?
something.
Yeah.
I think the one at 98 Rock was right across from the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Did it have a window? Did it have a window as well?
It did. Yeah, it had a pretty big
window. And so when I don't think about it. I'd be in there doing bits, and I would be, if I was doing like a gay character or something, I'd be in there going, I really emote when I do my, I don't even think about it. It's just kind of getting into a character, and I would sometimes be doing that, and I'd look at somebody and go, oh my God, somebody's watching me do that. Oh, we're supposed to do the chat.
Oh, chat, yes.
Buzzy's Moist Red Rocket gifted a tier 1 sub.
Oh.
That's 212. Appreciate it.
Woo!
Buzzy's Moist Red Rocket. Well, let's see if I can go back.
Yes, go back and chat. Yeah, we went right. We just forgot about that completely.
AJ the Lingerer says, what a couple cocksuckers.
So good. That is so good. That's so spot on too. Like how narcissistic, how terrible and narcissistic are we that we go, we'll be right back, and then we'll take your comments. We come back and completely just completely blow by it.
There's a couple of cocksuckers here.
Oh, that's terrible. Sorry.
A couple of cocksuckers.
AJ the Lingerer.
All right, Let me figure out. I don't know if anybody even asked us anything.
Oh, maybe did anybody have anything to add?
I'm trying to go back.
Does anybody have any sweet recipes for us?
I don't even know if anybody asked anything. No, not looking. No dead air while you're on break. Okay, so it should be soon.
All right, yeah.
Alan from Jacksonville says, I'd love to hear the Dead Baby song again.
Ooh, Dead Baby.
I don't know if I played that. I think it might be too.
Yeah,
there's certain things I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to do the Dead Baby thing.
Yeah, the Dead Baby thing I think is on the outs.
That was like, one of my favorite parody songs is about the dead baby, because I was like, oh man, you got to do a song about a guy who throws his baby out the window on a Tampa Bay interstate and kills it, little infant. It's like, well, that's just our mentality back in the day. We had we got depraved sense of humor. We don't care.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have feelings.
Yeah, feelings did not come into play.
So, and I was like, what kind? It's got to be good. You can't do a cheesy dead baby song. And then I was like, hey, baby. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's so perfect because it's got the baby voice in it. Hey, baby, dead baby. Oh, it's so offensive. And then we
bad.
Then we did the Richard McTeer contest where we drove the car and tried to throw the baby.
That's right. See who could throw the baby. Oh, my God. I forgot about that.
You had to throw it in like a hoop or something to win. I think you won.
I think I did.
I was so mad because I'm doing it. We finally get my go ahead and I'm going, and then about halfway there, a car starts coming in, and I was like, I can't hit the car, and I was so mad. I missed big time, but that's
completely forgot about that.
I don't know whose idea was that. That's a good idea.
I'll chalk it up to mine, but I don't know. Yeah, I'll take credit for that.
It wasn't mine, so, and it probably wasn't.
Well, there was only one other creative person there, so it's me.
That's a great contest. That's a classic morning show contest right there.
Not anymore. It's not.
Oh, what are you talking about? You're right. You're 100%
right. You can't do anything.
It's so sad. That's the demise of society.
I don't even know if you could do that on platforms like this that we're on now. Like, I don't even know if that would fly, right?
No, probably not here. I don't know if it would fly on. I don't know. On YouTube, would that fly? They don't like the violent. It's just a baby doll, but they might not. They would look. If somebody, they'd say they would construe it as something.
Right now, the trend is just long form conversation. It's either music or long form conversation. Yeah. There's no. I don't know. There's no opening for like bits or like stunts, all that kind of stuff. It's not. Currently, what's I think what the industry is into. Maybe that pendulum will swing back at some point.
I'd be very curious because it usually doesn't swing back. It usually doesn't. I mean, it kind of did. There was the big, hubbub in the, I don't remember, 80s or 90s with them going to Congress and saying about smutting, Howard Stern was controversial. Mm-hmm. And then it just went away and, for a while when we were doing crazy stuff.
Yep.
And then it came back.
The Super Bowl Janet Jackson thing.
Yeah. Then I don't know if it ever came back after that.
No, because then it was satellite, and then everything was off the rails. It was even crazier. And then after that lawsuit, I think everybody was like, all right, this is coming to a complete halt after that adult star had dropped a nice little lawsuit.
It's all over. It's all over for creativity and pushing the envelope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Time and a place.
Yeah, it's kind of what I did for a living.
Yeah. I didn't think about that part.
Such a fun job, pushing the envelope.
Well, you'll be pushing the envelope tomorrow morning with that in your head.
Yes, I will be pushing the envelope as much as I can push it. You just got to know how. You just know how to work. We did it so long under like FCC guidelines that I know not to be stupid. Yeah.
I don't hear much from the FCC these days at all.
At all.
Like, like complaint wise, I don't.
So weird.
It's
because nobody's listening to the radio; they're listening to other stuff.
No, that's not true. Everybody's listening to the radio.
It would seem to me that the top stations would be like rock stations because those people still listen to the radio for sure. The youngsters and their Spotify and their Pandoras would seem like be more.
You know what audience is dug in for real besides like your news and talk formats? Country. country listeners are
dug in.
Yeah, because there's no pull back the curtain a little bit here, but there's not like a lot of like audience duplication, right? So you could have a top 40 station, you could have a hip hop station, you could have a mix and variety station, and seemingly there could be some bleed over with the playlist at any given time, as well as the audience, right? Because that, bounce around. Country listeners, you're just more or less listening to country music, and you don't care about anything else.
So you'd think that the time would be, at this time the morning show would be more important, because you'd need something to stand out against, just music. Why would I listen to just music? Because I got all this variety of music I can do on my phone.
Well, you can, but
But so you think the morning shows would be something? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But you need something to. Obviously, that's not their business model. I think, or is it just the No Waves business model?
I don't think anybody wants any waves right now. I don't
calm, placid.
I don't think anybody wants it. Why
tepid?
Although, I will say with the whole woke, quote unquote, thing that's been going in the last few years, whatever, and like WWE, the whole thing with them was like, oh, they're getting soft. The Attitude Era will never come back. It'll never be the same as it was back in and now lately WWE's been swinging the pendulum back to like more attitude, and I'm going, all right, that's a good sign for society. Believe it or not, I look at them as kind of the litmus test and going, okay, they're back to kind of testing some waters, a little blood here and there. The Rock's promos, like he's utilizing his social media and he's cursing up a storm, and it's like going, there's something to this, and I see that pendulum going back a little bit. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited to have a little bit more of the attitude injected into it.
If you watch
in life, I should say, not even just wrestling.
I agree. If you watch the Pat McAfee show, they swear all the time.
Oh, really?
On ESPN, it's like nobody swears on ESPN. You're not hearing Stephen A. Smith say that bullshit. You're not hearing that. Nobody swears on ESPN now. His guests swear. They don't say like fuck or anything, but they swear.
Interesting.
All the time. It's like that's new.
Well, furthermore,
I mean, technically they're cable. You have to pay for it, so they legally, but they just didn't do it anyway.
But it's also owned by Disney, so it's like that's a weird dichotomy there. And then also, ESPN. I think they did the deal with the betting app. I don't know if it was. I can't remember the name of it. The gambling app, but now everything around ESPN, it seems, centers around gambling. Like they got a show at like 6:00 in the evening of like what's coming up on the like. All right, degenerates, tune in. Let's see what we can put the money lines on tonight. I thought that's a weird turn of events.
It's like I get it if you like to bet on sports, I get it, but it's like the negatives probably with what it does to so many people is just it probably shouldn't be legal because it's just like it's.
Bro, it drained me.
I tried it once. I was like, got it. I can't do it.
No. I mean, I was out quick. If I was actually addicted to it or had a real problem, or was like, I'm really gonna win tonight, or whatever that addict's mind is going through when they're a gambling addict.
Yep.
I could definitely see how it could completely turn your world upside down.
It's bad. I think it's because there's some skill involved. You have to like check out the odds and keep track of everything, and you can get this team's definitely going to win. You get that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. So I'm not addicted to anything, but I was like, I could be addicted to this. And it's all bad.
But man, the rush I got when I won.
Oh yeah.
When you like, even if it's winning $5, for some reason that rush was so strong. But when I decided to, like after Super Bowl, I won a little bit of money. I was like, all right, I'm cashing out. I'm gonna leave like just a smidge in here just to mess around, and we'll see where it goes. And then now I got like 89 cents left in the account. Yeah. I'm like, that's it for me until football season again. Like I'm not messing around with anything else until football season.
Like we play, just for the show. We have a show, FanDuel, fantasy football. And, we put like $50 each in at the beginning of the year. And you might have to, if you're having a bad year, put another 25 or $30 in it. But that's it.
Yeah.
It's like that's our yearly gamble, and it's for the show, So it's just like, it's bad news. That stuff will get you.
Well, it's great too, the messages that it's like, you'll see 5 gambling commercials. You'll get hit with ads on Facebook.
God.
You'll get hit with ads everywhere. And then you'll get that one ad that goes, have a gambling problem? Call such a like,
yeah, like that's doing anything.
Yeah, you can't negate the 15 to 20 ads that you just saw telling you to bet on this with have a gambling problem. Call like
when every 30 seconds is, man, I won $500,000
Yes.
at the casino last week. They're all over the place. Ned's Navy says, could y'all forget to check chat a couple more times tonight?
Oh
please?
no. What do we do?
Okay, so starting right now.
All right. Starting now.
Starting with Doglog's comment, we haven't heard, I don't know what he's saying. I haven't heard from iBerry2K yet. We're going to go, we're going to talk to the chat. So we're going to sit here. So like a 12-second delay. So, it's not going to be, makes it covered. Because I always forget at 12 seconds, my mind starts wandering.
And then we're off.
And I never talk to you. We're on a tangent and we never talk to the chat.
Let me do this. Let's set a timer. We're going to get this 12 seconds down stopwatch and start. All right.
What would be funny would be if the chat just totally froze us out right now.
It's nothing.
It totally froze us out. Unless they get us back. I shouldn't have said that because they're going to do it now. Going to do it.
All right, it's 12 seconds. There. Whoa.
Oh, no, now they're going to start pouring in. Ned's Navy says, I'm getting hard for the 3rd time.
Oh.
iBerry2K gives me a smiley face.
Oh, hold on. You get hurt for the 3rd time?
This is the 3rd time we said we checked chat, I think.
Oh. It's like, good for 3rd time.
Some guys, there's a few guys who, they touch themselves to Ned in the morning.
Oh.
I'm this close to an old fans. OnlyFans. Ned's going to have an OnlyFans. I think that's the way to go.
What a trip. You
Just
could do custom songs on there for people.
Tasteful butt shots. Tasteful butt shots. And then it goes to the Brown Star. And then the next thing you know, there's a football going up there.
And it's gutter porn.
For $50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, chat. Let's focus.
That's how it's
Let's
going.
focus here.
Open up a live call-in line. Don't have that right now. Over under 14 seconds. Under wins. I think they're thinking we didn't forget about you. Chat should give those 2 fuckers dead air. They're stealing my idea, be bumpy. Feel like a K. See? I'll turn it back around on them. See? We tried our damnedest.
Yeah.
Our damnedest. You got nothing.
You don't appreciate me.
Y'all choked. You had your spot. You choked. Where's the zingers? No zing. Yeah. It's really hard to do what we do, isn't it? Turn the tables on you, mother effers.
Dude, you know, a video I saw. It's just completely off topic. Not that we're on a topic. I don't even know what we're doing.
I don't know what the topic was.
But I was watching SNL a couple weeks ago, and it started like jogging my memory of like funny SNL shit I saw.
Yeah.
And I think the funniest thing I ever saw on SNL had it just not even character driven, not like a funny Mike Myers. None of that. Do you remember when Ashley Simpson danced on SNL? And she tried to sing, but the timing of the music was off, so she just sat there and did danced a country jig
and
for
then
like
she ran
40
off
seconds,
stage.
and then ran off stage.
That's classic.
Why is that so funny to me?
Pieces of Me.
Is that what it was? Yes. Yeah. Oh,
and then at the end of the show, she goes, "I'm sorry, my band played the wrong song." And
she blamed her band.
And it wasn't. Yeah, it was playing Pieces of Me, and it was like her voice that she was supposed to be lip syncing, and she missed her cue.
She missed her cue.
And it's like poor Ashley Simpson. How long ago was that? 10, 15 years?
At least, yeah.
I mean, now it wouldn't even matter. They just put down the mic.
Oh yeah.
Everybody knows they're lip syncing. Nobody cares they're lip syncing, and they flaunt that they're lip syncing. But she got drummed out of the business.
Oh my God, she was mortified. Yeah, and then she just danced like a hee-haw dance.
She really folded under pressure.
If nobody's seen that, by God, you need to go just look it up on YouTube. Just type in Saturday Live Ashley Simpson intro. Like, I don't know. The whole thing to me, it's probably one of the funniest moments. Besides,
Classic.
Except for maybe the maps of Iraq girl. The beauty contestant.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
That never gets old. Such as.
Yeah.
Such as.
Maybe the American people don't have access to such as maps to find out where. Yeah. All those two to me.
It's classic.
There's certain things on the internet that just don't miss.
I like the Iverson, the practice.
What's that one?
Oh, it's like he's, I guess he got in trouble for missing practice. And he's, having a press conference. He's like, we talking about practice. And he says it about 50 times. He makes a point and he's like, practice? We talking about practice. Maybe he'll play that on the VIP. It's classic Allen Iverson. Len Carr said there was lots of questions.
Oh, there was?
I can't find him. AJ the Linger gifted 25 tier 1 subs.
Hey!
Hot damn, taking him to 690. I think I got Buzzy's Moist Red Rocket. I can't find the comments, guys. It's a one-man band deal here. I'm trying to scroll.
Bro, I looked at the Facebook. You put up the picture of us last week.
Oh, let me get the picture.
And I looked at a couple of the comments, and I saw Gene Lasker pop in there. And I was just thinking to myself, oh, damn, that's Gene Lasker. I love Gene. Like, I didn't know. When's the last time you actually spoke to him? I know you said you have interaction, but
it's been a while.
I think he's open to coming in here.
You think so?
That's what it appeared.
I commented to him on the Facebook picture, and I said, love to have you on the show, Gene. But then I didn't see if he responded.
Oh, maybe he didn't. Then I don't know. But the fact that he was interacting, I thought was cool because I think that'd be hilarious just to.
Oh, Gene's classic. Yeah, I can't remember where that was. Oh, that's Ned, not us.
That one, yeah, that one.
Oh, cause see,
Yep.
but
that one, and then in the comments. There.
Oh, he did say he said his Facebook was hacked, but
so it's not Gene commenting.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just on a side note, I'd love to see him.
He says he did reply, and he says on tape, he said I outran Spice in a foot race, and he still owes me lunch.
Yeah, so I read this, and I'm trying to, for the life of me, remember this foot race.
There's
and
no way.
If he beat me.
There's no way.
That's what I'm thinking. Now, again, my memory's a little foggy on some of this. I can't remember everything, for God's sake. But I don't remember losing a foot race to Gene.
I don't think you did. I mean, I was pretty fast guy up until my early 40s, and I raced you when I was like 40. And you were fast, and you beat me by that much. So there's no way Gene Lasker is not.
Okay, thank you. I felt like a little insane because I don't want to be like, no, it didn't happen,
no way.
Gene. But I can't imagine how it would have happened. How could Gene Lasker have beat me in foot? And that's not me being an egotist. There's nothing. It's
just the age difference alone.
Yeah, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I would race him again now. He'd probably smoke me. I don't even know. How great would that be?
He's not smoking you.
Maybe he would.
No. He doesn't have the body type to race, if you know what I mean.
No, I do not know what you mean.
So I don't know what I mean.
Well, apparently I owe him a lunch or something.
I mean, this must be Lasker because it doesn't make a lot of. He says, I said, you need to come on the show. And he says, yes, I do know shit on both of you. Serious cluster F right there. And on tape, I outran Spice in foot race and he still owes me lunch. That sounds like something Gene Lasker would say.
It does. And that sounds like sort of a Lasker-esque commitment to coming in here. Am I right?
It sounds like he's putting his foot in the water.
Yeah.
I think so.
Dipping his toe.
Oh, we got to get Gene in here.
How great would that? That'd be so much fun. Awesome. Or he's going to beat me up. I don't even know what would happen. Or he's going to try to race me and I don't know.
That'd be, well, Gene's a loose cannon, so nobody knows.
Yeah.
Gene Lasker.
We need to put him in like one of those Hannibal Lecter style things and bring him in here like that.
Yeah, the ball gag. So when we start saying, hey, nope.
Make sure he's contained.
Can't say that, Gene. I love Gene, man.
He's the best.
It's like, I used to write the I don't know, you were in the show when we did Lasker's picks. Yeah, were you?
You told me about it.
Yeah, and it's like I like writing for Gene. He's a fun guy, and I knew that he would, f it up and make it funny.
Yeah.
But and then Bubba started ignoring him. Gene's a good guy,
Dude. I remember
good guy.
the one of the funniest things with Lasker, we had smoked that Salvia divinorum, which is now illegal, but I had smoked it a few times, and again, it was legal at the time. And a couple times it hit me really good, and I was like out. But in like 10 minutes, you're back, you loose it again, no big deal. And then there was other time where it didn't really have much of effect. Dude, when Lasker smoked salvia, he immediately dropped to the floor, and he was he lost it. His mind was gone.
Mine was gone.
And you could look in his eye. There was nothing there.
He was like on the microphone like this. He was concrete. He was concrete Gene.
Yes.
He's like kind of like drooling out his mouth. And then he started laughing at one point. It was awesome.
That was the best.
I just remember laughing. And I was like, it's that laugh you get. Like, it's that fourth grader laugh.
Authentic.
Where you can't stop laughing. Oh, it's so much fun. Oh. But mine lasted like, 20 minutes, the after effects. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know. It's not going to go away. I'm going to be like this forever.
And then all of a sudden, it's fine.
Like that. And then it was fine. It's fine. It's illegal, though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to smoke the root of the sage plant.
Yeah, why is that
Demon
illegal?
Sage.
Real talk. Thinking about that, yeah, I didn't even. I forgot that it is just the root of the sage plant. So, like, what are we doing? Of all the things to ban, that was the one that they chose to.
Probably let you opens your mind. That's what they don't want. See, like Angel's trumpet will kill you.
My neighbor has.
They don't ban that. Well, I don't care. Yeah, you can kill yourself. Just don't do that. Don't do that stuff that opens your mind.
So what do you do with the angel trumpet? Because I was going to ask you about that. Because literally, one of my neighbors down the street has a bunch out there, and I remember it as a kid, it just being demonized, right? But I feel like the idea behind angel trumpet, again, correct me if I'm wrong, was you had to like boil it down and drink it in like a tea or something.
I think that's what it is.
So if I was just to go in his yard and grab one of these angel trumpets and eat it, nothing.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm going to try it.
I don't know. You might have to make the tea, and then you go crazy and you die.
How does that work though? Even the fact that like, okay, you're taking this thing and it has no effect, but yet you boil it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it make you go bananas?
I don't know how people figure this stuff out.
I don't either.
I guess, there's all people.
Unless we're both wrong and we just haven't Googled it yet
I know
to find out.
I know it kills you, and people have died from it. And I've heard of the tea as well. Mm-hmm. Throughout life, people always want to change their reality. It's just human nature, and they will find any way. Like the prisoners, they find out a way to make liquor in their toilets. Making mash and stuff. People,
they're industrious folks in there.
They are.
Like
where there's a will, there's a way. I've seen, at the fair, the sheriff's got a trailer, and it's got an exhibit of stuff like weapons people have made in prison. And you're just like,
shanks,
man, sophisticated stuff. Like you'd be like, they just made things. You're like, wow, that's creative.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
you got nothing but time on your hands.
Yeah, and you got to protect yourself. I don't know.
When you're a criminal, first thing you do is make a weapon in prison.
Yeah. How'd they not? Yeah, see that one coming.
I mean, they don't let them have anything. They make things out of like soap and.
But then the guards will like sell them stuff.
I think nowadays it's a free for all. I think they got cell phones and drugs, and the guards are just if you're a corrections officer, you're like, I ain't making crap for this job. I'm going to sell these guys, get rich, smuggling stuff into the jail. That's probably how it is. There's probably a party in there.
There was oh my gosh, yeah. Never mind. I'm not going to say. Yeah, I'm going to skip that one.
Still looking for the chat stuff.
Let's put it this way: corrections officers, they got their own agenda.
That doesn't sound like something I'd want to do. Doesn't sound like.
Remember that rapper Rick Ross was a corrections officer, and he always got guff for it. Yeah, that guy. And everybody's like, how are you going to pretend to be a rapper, gangster, blah blah blah? You were as a correction guard, and all this stuff. And I think he kind of was like, I was only a corrections officer to be on the inside or something. Like he's trying to spin it, just like
Spin it.
He's still a corrections officer.
Just fess up.
Just like, yeah, I needed a job. Like that's what you do. Are you still trying to go back in chat?
See, that's why I can't even find the questions.
All right, maybe we just start current. Can you type your questions again?
Oh, that's gonna be the third time we asked them to
Oh,
type
okay,
questions.
never mind.
They're
Never mind.
Lynn Carr already said we already typed questions, and you guys didn't ever look at them.
Sorry, Lynn Carr.
I'm sorry, we can't get out of our own way.
Speaking of cars, I sent you something in your email. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not. This girl, she's talking about financing on her and her husband's vehicle.
I think I have seen this one.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to.
Well, it's not about me. It's about the audience.
Oh, I don't know which one it is I sent you.
I mean, it's about what would it be?
I don't know.
Can't be monetized. Did he? I'm going to see.
It's something on.
I'm going to say it's this one.
All right.
I don't know.
What does it say? Oh no,
no.
That's the answer to the questions of the girls, the twins. They're not the twins. The
the twins.
Yeah, we're
Twin.
twins.
See what the answers to the twins. Yeah, I think I saw this.
Because these are the exact questions that I was.
Everybody wants to know.
Yeah, so I appreciated them doing this.
This is a pretty. I mean, this she's probably gonna get a lot of likes on this tweet. And she says, and talking about her husband, because everyone is asking, we're just going to tell you, yes, I have sex with my husband. Yes, I go down on him. Yes, my sister Brittany is there. Yes, my sister and I orgasm as one. But when I sleep with my husband, she's usually reading a book or listening to a true crime podcast so that she puts the pleasure out of her mind. Yeah, you keep telling yourself, honey.
The whole thing's odd.
Oh,
that whole thing's so odd.
We talk about it at least twice a year.
It's
because it's just so. I mean, like you're saying, I do go down on him. It's like you're right here. You're getting
right.
You're getting.
There has to be an understanding there of It's no I. It's we in that situation.
It's a we, yeah.
So you've gotta. I feel like you have to get approval from the person that's 2 inches from you at all times. Like, what would happen if the other one decided to get married? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, has anybody thought about that? Like the other one,
that doesn't work. It doesn't work.
But think about that. The other one's lonely now. So
I know,
the other one,
she can't get married.
Yeah.
Because that guy.
Now you got this guy over here. You got this guy over here. You only got one of these.
That dude doesn't want. He's like, that's mine.
Yeah, he doesn't want to share.
No, I got to share it with.
So in other words, the one that got married,
swingers,
which is the weirdest swinging thing ever. The whole thing is so odd,
so bizarre.
But the fact that this one got married more or less middled out her sister from ever having the opportunity to find love.
Yep.
And I feel, thinking about it right now, it was a very selfish move on that one girl's part.
Up there.
Which is the one that got married? I
think it's this one.
Well, why isn't the guy standing on the other end next to his wife?
Is that a traditional, side? I mean, I think he should be standing next to his wife. I don't. Yeah, that's.
He's standing next to the loser in the middle that can't find love.
Oh, man, or maybe she's like, maybe she, they just. This is all, they said this, but they don't mean it. They're all into it. She's not listening to her iPod. She's, she's talking dirty. she's got the wife's got the shiz and she's got the biz-alls. It's a double team supreme.
Double team supreme.
Or is it good luck getting two girls to both agree a blowjob?
There's so many. Like the questions are nonstop. Like if we were to sit down with these people, you could give me like 9 straight days. I would still have more questions. Like it would be the longest interrogation ever. Like, it wouldn't be questions. It would be straight up interrogation.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot. I think they could make probably $5 million on a sex tape.
You'd be surprised.
No, I think this is a sex tape. People, they couldn't resist it.
Okay, so
They're like,
I
I gotta see. I gotta know. Gotta know.
I wouldn't do that. I would do the OnlyFans route. Right? Consistent content. You know,
I do the one and done. See, the one and done, and it's just you, and you don't have to deal with people anymore. You get the cash lump sum payment. You don't have to deal with people every night going, yeah, both of you.
now do this, and I'll send you $20. All right, now do this one.
I want one of you to say, oh, it hurts up my butt, and I want the other one to say, I love it up my butt. $50.
Simultaneously. You have to say it simultaneously. At the same time, 1, 2, 3, go.
I want you to have sex with your wife, but finish on her sister.
And I'll send you $25. Now go.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
all you are is a little errand boy on your OnlyFans, right? Like, that's all you are. You're just taking orders.
They seem nice, They seem.
I'm sure they're lovely.
They seem very nice, and it's just too funny. I can't resist. Yeah.
There's so much there.
There's so much there, and I'm glad she's happy, and I hope they're happy. But what the hell? What the hey?
They are not happy.
And
Two of them are happy. The one is not happy. There's no way the one's happy.
I don't think so. Maybe life gets boring, and you're secretly just in love with this dude. Yeah, I can't have him, but he's gonna screw me. He's gonna screw me.
There's so many questions. I was okay. Here's a real question for you. All right, work with me on this. Expand your brain, like we did last week with simulation theory.
Yes.
Right. Which I was very proud of our conversation. Actually, I listened back to it. I was going, it was a completely high thought of simulation theory, but it was good to talk to somebody about it. You know what I mean?
Things are interesting. They're fascinating.
All right, help me with this one. And chat might be able to help with this one too, because I don't know how this goes. Let me see if I can explain it properly. All right. Let's say you are, I don't know, let's just say you're a teenage girl, right? And social media, you decide to put a picture of yourself out there.
Yeah.
Right? Of you, whatever compromising position it would be in, right? It doesn't even matter. Some sort of nudity or sexual exploit or whatever. Say you're a 16-year-old girl, as an example. And you put it out there for the world to see. Now, let's say an adult who's looking at social media decides to screenshot that as an example.
Yeah.
Does that make him or her or whoever does that make them? They would then have access to technically child porn.
Yeah, yeah.
So then but let's say that guy didn't know that the girl was 16, but she's on social media putting stuff out there. He takes a snapshot. It's not done with malice, right? Mm-hmm. He just was like, "Oh, that's a cool picture.
Yeah.
Let me keep that on my phone." And let's say down the road he gets pinched for something else, and they go through his phone and they see a picture, right? And they go, "Oh, wait a second." And now all of a sudden, is that a child porn charge on top? Like, how does that work? Like, I don't know what the legality on that is, because
I think it would be a child porn charge.
I think so too, because ignorance is not a defense, right? You can't.
Well, it might be up to you to hire a lawyer, and you gotta prove that when you viewed it, that you didn't know, and when it was on but otherwise, child porn is child porn. I think you'd have to put up some kind of defense that you didn't know and prove that if you could prove you didn't know.
Okay, then that goes to the other question of, let's say that she puts it up on social media, right? On a Twitter or an X.
Yeah.
Okay. She puts it up there. Well, wouldn't that make X responsible for giving a forum to post child pornography?
Maybe.
And don't you see that being a huge problem in the future?
Oh,
unless it already is a problem.
I mean, well, I think, isn't it? It's
like, is my train of thought making sense?
Facebook, I think, is facing lawsuits for that kind of thing, of letting
But there's all these other platforms that are like, okay, a Snapchat, right? And I don't have Snapchat. I don't know how it works, but you can, if somebody snaps you something, it's there and it's gone unless you decide to take a screenshot.
Yeah.
But if you take that screenshot and it's a compromising photo, then now you're the one that's could be in trouble for it. But yet it's Snapchat's forum that did it.
I don't know how they can, I don't get it. I mean, they can, like the algorithm, like YouTube's algorithm, they know everything in the world that's copyrighted. So you think they could have an algorithm that knows something that's sexual or something, and
Well, if you go on X, you can't scroll. I can't scroll for 2 seconds without seeing some nasty stuff, like just in general, because everybody's retweeting stuff and doing, it's a lot.
it's your algorithm.
No, it's not. That's the funny thing.
I never get on Twitter. I don't get any porn in my feed.
See, that's weird. So, okay.
It's all conspiracy and politicians.
Okay. Well, for instance, on like Ronnie the limo driver will retweet naked chicks all day long. Okay. So even if you follow Ronnie or he follows you, you're going to get hit with those, even though you're not necessarily looking for it.
I don't follow hardly nobody.
But you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm just
if
trying
you're
to
following a lot of people, that's going to happen to you.
But I'm just trying to figure out if you're like a 18-year-old dude and you get, a 16-year-old girl is posting something on a social media forum. I just don't know how it all works, and it's going to be real weird.
What do you think it's going to be like? You can get anybody's face, usually off the internet, and with AI, you could put them in any scenario.
Yeah.
So what are the pedophiles going to do when they can just get pictures of your kids, anybody's kids, and they can put them on anything they want, and that's out there on the internet.
That's kind of in a way where this thought came from,
what are they going to do?
There was a case the other week locally that had that sort of exact scenario, and the lawyer, he wasn't this guy's attorney, but he was basically going, hey, look, the law says that's not illegal. As of now, there's no law because it's not an actual image. He goes, you might not like it. He goes, you might not be in favor of it, but as of now, it's not illegal. So what you're saying is, yeah, technically you could put you could have AI or whatever Photoshop some stuff together and make it real crazy. And as of now, it's not illegal. So at what point do they put a law in place or tweak that or should they?
I think they're going to use AI to make a lot of laws like they use.
It's going to get weird.
Because it's going to be out of hand. I can't believe, I saw the story of a kid in like high school, and he was making some AI-generated, X-rated images of some female classmates and using the yearbook pictures.
That's the story I'm talking about.
I was like, why? I'm not in favor of that, but I am shocked that there's not 1,000 stories like that. Because you give teenage boys the access to put the head cheerleader in a porn, he's going to... there's some people who are going to do that. And so I'm surprised there's not thousands of videos like that.
Or is there, and we're just...
Is there and we don't know?
We don't know it because we're aged out of all that.
But you'd think that would be news. Don't you think it'd be news? Because if your head cheerleader daughter is in a porn right now that's AI going around the internet, aren't you going to call the cops?
Look, dude, I'll be straight. I'm shocked and amazed at what is news and what isn't news. For like our area in general, we are supposed to be like one of the top places in the country where like kids are trafficked for sex and kidnaps and all this stuff. But yet I never hear anything on the news about any of it. It's all, I mean, it seems completely buried.
Unless you're, it's Grady Judd. Because he's always doing human traffic stings in Polk County.
Right.
He does them all the time.
Yeah. But here,
I don't even know what this whole human trafficking thing, I don't even know. All they do is talk about human trafficking awareness, but nothing ever seems to be done about any of this human trafficking.
Yeah, it's like we're aware of it now,
We all know
but and you'll see a mom post something on Facebook like, "Hey, be careful! Well, this guy was walking around Walmart today, and he looks a little odd. So if you're in the area and you see this guy, stay away." Like stuff like that, right? But we are in general supposed to be one of the top places where it's for human trafficking, sex trafficking, all that. I just don't see it on the news as for the amount that happens. I don't see the kerfuffle.
Every couple months, you'll see a couple girls rescued from human trafficking, but not like, it's such a major problem.
Yeah,
who's doing something about it? Nobody. A lot of, like you said, there's a lot of kerfuffle about it. Human trafficking, but ain't nothing being done about it.
Instead, I'm watching, on the news, I'm watching squirrels riding on surfboards, and I don't understand why I'm watching that instead of like a real, I don't know, story about sex trafficking or doing something about it. I don't know.
Almost seeing, So it's I think I've said it before. It's like QAnon. That I used to say, I've been saying for like the last 8 or 9 years, Don and I on Cluster Up, we're like, pedophiles kind of run the world. They really know how to get into high places, and Hollywood's, rife with pedophiles. The government's got pedophiles. Catholic Church is rife with pedophiles. The Boy Scouts are rife with teachers. They know how to get into positions of power, and now they've made it. If you think that, you're crazy. And it's like, it's just common sense. They go where the kids are, and they're highly motivated.
Highly motivated.
That'd be like, if the only way you could have sex with a woman was to become, successful in a certain field, what field are you going to go in?
Yeah.
You're going to, that's why in Hollywood, that's a dream job. You've got power over, people who want what you got. And that's a dream job for them.
Highly motivated. That's a interesting way of putting it, but it's not incorrect because think about the stuff you got to do to become a Catholic, priest, in terms of education and in terms of all the schooling and all that.
And
like
it's your lifestyle and your job.
Yeah, you got to go all in.
Go all in.
So you do have to be highly motivated.
But it's the only place in the world where you can get away with it. Back in the day, I mean, you could get, you just get transferred. So that's they're highly motivated. That's the dream job is priest, because not only can you do it, you can get away with it, and you can get found out and still get away with it.
Yeah, just a job transfer. Think about how insane that is.
How ridiculous.
In
how
any other
preposterous it is.
Any other workplace, if that were to occur, and you'd be like, "Oh my God," and they'd go, "Don't worry, we're just going to transfer you to another office."
Yeah.
Oh.
Fresh meat.
Oh, okay.
This guy can't wait to pack his suitcase. Oh boy.
It is a really insane thought.
And it doesn't really get brought up, It's just kind of there. What was the movie Spotlight, I think? Did you ever see that?
No.
It was the Boston Herald, I think. They uncovered the pedophile scandal in the Catholic Church in Boston.
No.
One of the first big stories that showed how many priests were getting molested and everything.
In Boston.
It was a very big problem. And I forgot what I was talking about.
You were talking about the movie Spotlight.
Yeah, I know. It was a great movie.
And you were talking about
But okay, so that all comes out. Couple hundred priests, blah, blah, blah. Nothing's changing.
They just got transferred.
They're still doing it. They just,
Well, think about how long it took the Pope to come out and go, "Hey, this ain't cool."
Forever.
It's like 4 years ago.
Forever.
Like, what?
They like you're talking about. These are supposed to be the most godly men, in the world. The Pope is supposed to be. He's in like you'd think you could walk in the door and they they could go Pope Mike. There's rampant pedophilia going on, and you know what they're doing. I'd be going, all right, we got to stop. We got red alert. Sorry, everybody. I didn't know there's a bunch of pedophiles in the church. We got to clean house. We hope you come back to the Catholic religion. But I'm disgusted. Nothing.
He said, I'm going to go pray on it. Then he prayed on it.
And he forgot to talk about it.
Then let it go on for many more years. Then they transfer people. Then he dies. The new pope comes in. Same thing happens. He goes, all right, let me pray on it.
Yep.
Right. Rinse and repeat. And then finally somebody comes out and says, yeah, it's not good. Let's go ahead and let's try to stop that.
We're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it. We've got plans in place.
We'll try to stop
We got committees. We got some committees studying the whole situation.
People are nuts.
Okay, I gotta get rid of this picture because I keep thinking of questions.
Oh, no.
I keep thinking about questions with the two girls.
Still on your brain, huh?
I could talk about that forever.
So many questions.
Poor girl. And what if she meets? Oh, see, okay, so you're this. She meets a guy online. She's got to talk on her phone. She's got the sisters right there. She meets a guy, and they start really digging each other, and they want to meet.
Mm-hmm.
And you're this guy. You're like, oh no. What if they hit it off? She's horny. Oh my! See, it's just I don't even understand. It's like the most bizarre situation ever. That's why it's a simulation. This isn't real, man.
Well, but if let's say it is real. Why isn't this like the biggest? Like Sunday nights when I'm winding down and I'm watching, 60 Minutes or one of those kind of Sunday evening shows. This is the story we all want to see. Have a sit down with this, whatever this is.
Fascinating.
Yes, sit down and talk to them. Give them an hour straight up. Or if you're Joe Rogan and you've got bring them in and say, look, I need 4 hours minimum with you guys. I need more of it. I need to hear them. I need to see them. I need to understand more about this.
You think maybe, they just have a special relationship because they've had to learn. That's just the way it is. It's just,
that's their normal.
And so she's just like, all right, I guess I'll be taking one for the team. Or deep down, she's like, man, this blows. I'm trying to listen to my iPod while my sister's blowing this guy. This is not what I signed up for. I don't know which one it is.
That's what I'm saying. There has to be I need to hear an interview.
What if your sister's a real whore? And you're like, headboard and all. You're like, this is not what I signed up for. I'm a missionary girl.
Or does she not care? Again, these are...
it's a coin flip.
You could set up a website for a Q&A with them and just charge $0.25.
Oh, my God.
Just ask them a question for $0.25, right? Not
forever.
Forget the OnlyFans stuff. Just a question for $0.25. They'd be loaded. And people would probably ask the same question multiple times.
So how's it work? You'd have to talk to your sister at one point and go, man, I'm really digging Josh here. I'm thinking that tonight's going to be the night, so I want to let you know. So you got a couple days, for a while to prepare. Because I don't think you can just all of a sudden, her and Josh get hot and heavy, and for the first time, all of a sudden, this girl's getting banged by this stranger.
Well, wouldn't it be traumatic? In theory, wouldn't the other one? Yeah, it would be traumatic on top of it.
Why would it be traumatic?
If the other girl...
Oh, if she didn't want it?
Or not if she didn't want... But, it's not her thing.
I think it's... Well, you've known the guy, but you just don't want to... Donna says that she's like, there's no way they both have to be in love with him. It's the only way it would work.
I would think so, too.
But then you'd be jealous. You'd be miserable because he doesn't ever give you a kiss.
You can't even go to therapy if you're the one girl or the other girl.
Oh my God! What a lonely existence. This is like
that looks
the
like
fifth level of hell for this girl.
Seriously, what did they do in the past? What
did they do?
What did they do to deserve this?
The first one, this one looks pretty happy actually.
Yeah.
That's just
what about the other one?
What did she do to deserve this? The lonely existence.
And furthermore, what happens, God forbid, if something happens to one of them, right? Let's say the one has a brain aneurysm or something. How does that go down?
What if you got a dead head next to you? You got a dead head?
Yeah, for real. They would have to...
I think when this one dies... I think that both die.
So it's a package deal.
I think she controls most of the stuff, because she's the main dude, and she's the shoulder and the head. and she's the main torso.
So-
I think
Well, where are the organs?
they do. I think they explain somewhere where they.
The whole thing is.
What does it say? Oh, this is fake.
Oh, it's fake. Oh
fake.
no! God, no!
Community note says this is an altered image. The user blank. Oh, so she's. Yeah, this person is not them. The person who said this, they put that in there.
Oh man! Well, now I've got even more questions.
Now we gotta know. Yeah.
So many.
It sounded believable to us.
It sure did. We got.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Might.
Thank God for community notes.
Maybe they only have sex doggy, so that way the sister doesn't have to see that madness.
So many questions.
She could protest and refuse to hold up her side of the bargain. Just let the
Her side of the bargain.
let the left arm go limp. It's a cockeyed deal. It's just so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
It really is.
Endless scenarios.
Now, there are certain people I would love to interview. Elon Musk, Larry David. These folks have now moved to almost the top of the list as far as like my dream interviews.
Yeah. If you could get, some of the nitty gritty.
Yeah, like a true,
you could get some of the
honest.
Just in a very tactful way.
So, what the fuck?
When she's giving him oral sex.
Oh my God.
The head girl has to be on the left side, so that's not as much a part of it. If she was the opposite way, right?
You are really thinking about the scenario.
I guess it doesn't matter either way. She's down and dirty with it.
The whole thing.
It's not a big distance. She probably doesn't go down on him.
And furthermore,
she's like, yeah, okay, we can do the whole thing, and you can obviously have sex with your husband, but you can't blow him. And she's like, I know. Twice.
2 times for effect. If I'm the guy, like I almost have more questions for the dude than the girls, because the guy has got to be a little unstable, right? To put himself in that position,
Lord knows what
he
this
can't
guy's
be
deal
right.
is.
That's what I mean.
He's not like a goon. He's just an average-looking guy, maybe a little slightly overweight.
Yeah, like there's 8 billion people on the planet. You're telling me this is your person? Like this is the one? You couldn't go anywhere else in the world and find another person? This is the person? I call bullshit. There's no way.
It's a mystery.
It is.
Get into that. Check this guy's hard drive. See, they're mad because I'm not showing the picture. But I already showed.
I got to tell you, I don't want to see anything on that guy's hard drive.
We all know the picture. We see. I had it up earlier. This is the picture, and that's the deal.
I don't want to know anything about this guy's hard drive.
Look how happy he is.
He's thrilled.
What if?
Which is part of the problem.
He's probably not allowed to make eye contact over here. He's not. He's got to look. Yeah.
What if he just put a bag over the other one's head? Like
she might request that.
You know what I mean?
Put a bag over the head.
Like
that's how I want to
just pretend I'm not here. Meaning like,
just
Abu Ghraib me.
You think this boob is off limits?
I don't even know which one's the bride.
That's a little too. That's a little too close to this.
But she who hath the organs will thrive. So. I don't know which one's got more organs.
This one, I think. So then they'll have to.
Who's got the heart? What would the heart be? The heart would be in the one in the middle because the heart's on the left.
Well, we'll have to do some research as to where the organs are because they share there's a couple things they share. So they might be codependent. I guess, I think if one of them loses their brain, they're done for because certain things are going to shut down.
Okay.
Got to watch out. They wear helmets everywhere they go so they don't suffer traumatic brain injuries. I don't know. The whole thing.
Many questions.
It's a gold mine is what it is. It's a gold mine.
Sure is. Well, hey,
all right.
Make sure to follow us on Spotify and download us and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and TuneIn all the stuff. All that jazz.
All that jazz. And then we're going to come back with a little VIP action.
At clusterfshow.com.
Clusterfshow.com. Don't forget Ned in Your Head tomorrow morning, 7:45. 3 sensational award-winning songs. And thanks for tuning in. Sorry we forgot to look at the chat.
Oh, no.
See, what you need is a chat reader. You see, on the other show,
Yeah.
you had a guy who would just pontificate, and you really didn't have to pay attention. You know, you could take time off from, it's a blah, 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 blah. So you're like, oh, let's see what the chat is saying. And then I could, say, oh, this guy said this.
All right. Sorry, chat. We'll get better. Next time we do this,
We got to hire a chat reader.
we'll make a real effort.
And then they can throw us the the pertinent comments.
There you go.
And we can get into chat deal.
And then we'll forget that and move on.
So we're hiring a chat reader.
It's official.
It's official. It's a high. Beaver smell like tuna. $200.
$200.
I know. 200 bits. That's $2. I do that all the time. I'm not good at it. El Greasefire. Subscribe. I don't know what that means. El Greasefire. And we'll see you. We're gonna do the VIP. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow. Ned in Your Head. Appreciate it. Everybody have a great one.